The 1-0. Ground ball to second. And the Blue Jays are going to the postseason.
From MLB.com, this is the Morning Lineup Podcast. I'm your host, Will Leach. It is Monday, September 22nd. I'm here to tell you everything you need to know about baseball. And there's a lot to know about baseball right now. And I'm going to do it in under 10 minutes. I just need you to make me one promise. Please do not ask me about my Illini. Ooh. In July 2024, it looked like the Blue Jays were going to break up. The Jays were in last place. They were trading away every pending free agent. There wasn't a team in the sport that wasn't thinking of calling around to see if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was available. Heck, even Vlad Jr. was aware of it, giving an interview at the time to walk back his longtime insistence that he would never play for the Yankees, thus acknowledging the possibility. He ended up sticking around, even signing that big fat extension in the offseason. And since then, it's been nothing but good times up north. And on Sunday, that culminated in them punching their ticket to the postseason. And guess who was a big part of it?
And it's going to be off the wall. Heineman will score. Varsho is on his way to the plate. It's a two-run double for Guerrero.
Yep, Vladdy went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs as the Blue Jays became the first AL team to nail down a postseason berth with an 8-5 win over the Royals. It's the first postseason berth since 2023, but remember, the Rays haven't won a playoff game since the 2016 ALCS, which means they would love to win the AL East, something they haven't done since 2015. Their magic number to do that is down to 4 with the win, but it's going to stay at 4 thanks to a Ben Rice grand slam that led to the Yankees scoring 6 runs at the top of the 10th against the Orioles in a 7-1 win. The Yankees have the best record in baseball since August 11th, by the way. The Jays have 6 home games left against the Red Sox and the Rays, but for now, to be sure, the Jays are just back in the postseason. Sure beats that time when it looked like they were going to trade Vlad Jr. now, doesn't it? The Jays weren't the only team who did some clinching on Sunday, but we led with them because the other team that clinched did so by losing.
And here's the ovation. One of the best ever gets his moment in the sun in St. Louis. Still a week of baseball left.
In what may well be Nolan Arenado's last game at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals are widely expected to try to trade him in the offseason. He did leave the game to a standing ovation before the first pitch was even thrown on Sunday. The Cardinals got a 2-run homer from Ivan Herrera to beat the Brewers 5-1. That cost the Brewers a chance to clinch the NL Central right then and there, but it only, all told, cost them a few minutes, because right after that game ended, this happened.
Got him looking. Swing complete. The Reds are in playoff position.
That was the Reds' Tony Santillan striking out Pete Crow Armstrong to finish off a 4-game sweep of the Cubs at Wrigley with a 1-0 victory. That is what clinched the Brewers' NL Central title, their 3rd division title in a row. Congratulations, Brewers! They're now 3 games up on the Phillies for home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs. So, even though you didn't clinch the division with a win, what a year, Brewers! And the good stuff is just coming. Oh, and another thing about that Reds win, it put them in a tie for the NL wildcard spot. That's because, once again, the Mets will simply not stop losing.
0-2. Line drive to short, caught by Nunez, and the Nationals take 2 out of 3 from the Mets, and their destiny is no longer in their control with 6 games to go.
The Mets came into the weekend with a tasty 3-game home set against the Nationals, and then they flatly lost the series. The Nats beat the Mets 3-2 on Sunday, which dropped the Mets into a tie with the Reds for that last wildcard spot. And don't forget that the Diamondbacks, who beat the Phillies on Sunday, are right there at 1 game back themselves. The Mets will now go on the road to finish the season with 3 games at Wrigley and 3 games in Miami against the red-hot Marlins. It's always kind of time for Mets fans to freak out, but now it's really time to freak out. After the break, I haven't even had a chance to tell you about the AL Central race that also got crazy this weekend.
High in the air, playable for Profar. And Braves sweep the Tigers. Tigers dominated all season long here at Comerica Park until the last 2 homestands. They lose their last 4 series at home and go winless in their final 6 Stunning.
The biggest division lead ever choked away in baseball history was the 14-game lead the Red Sox lost back in 1978. Yes, that was the Bucky Dent year. The Tigers are in serious danger of breaking that record. They led the AL Central by 15.5 back in July. They actually led it by 10 on September 2nd. But a miserable month, combined with the Guardians' hot streak, had the lead down to 1 game heading into Sunday. The Tigers sure did their part to keep the yakking going with a miserable, downright dispiriting 6-2 loss to the Braves. Concluded a 3-game road sweep for the Braves and was the Tigers' 6th straight loss at the worst possible time. That meant that if the Guardians could finish off their own sweep of the Twins and extend their winning streak to 11, they would tie the Tigers for first in the division, the first time they would have been in first since April 22nd. Unfortunately for them, the Twins also get to play baseball and even get to win sometimes. And when they did on Sunday, beating the Guardians 6-2, ending the Guardians streak and setting up a mammoth 3-game set in Cleveland starting on Tuesday. Tigers are up 1, but the Guardians hold the tiebreaker. Whoever wins that series, they're going to be sitting pretty. So make sure you get a good night's sleep tonight. There's going to be some pretty nervous nights in Cleveland coming up.
And Crawford lifts one high and deep. And it is a grand slam for J.P. Crawford. The Mariners, in their attempt to sweep this thing, lead it 5-0 in the 2nd inning.
So here's another thing that happened this weekend. Kind of looks like the Mariners may have just won themselves the AL West. The Mariners and Astros headed into their series in Houston this weekend, tied atop the division, a battle royale that would essentially decide who wins. But it turned out to be not much of a battle at all. The Mariners smoked them. They won Friday 4-0. They won Saturday 6-4. And on Sunday night, thanks to a 2nd inning grand slam from J.P. Crawford and Cal Raleigh's 58th homer, the Mariners won 7-3. That's a sweep. That gives the Mariners a 3-game lead in the division and a magic number of 3 with just 6 games to go. The Mariners have not won the AL West in 24 years, and sure looks like that's about to happen. Whew, we covered a lot there. Now that leaves us just 6 games left for the whip around. Fernando Tatis Jr., who you may remember came up in the White Sox organization, hit his 23rd homer as the Padres beat the White Sox 3-2. Padres' magic number to clinch postseason spot is now 2. That win also crept the Padres up within 2.5 games of the Dodgers in the NL West, thanks to the Dodgers' 3-1 loss to the Giants on Sunday. Dodgers did clinch a playoff spot over the weekend. They did that on Saturday, which was, of course, Clayton Kershaw's final regular season start at Dodger Stadium. In, presumably, the final MLB game at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Brandon Lau hit his 30th homer as the Rays said goodbye to that lovely minor league park with a 7-3 win over the Red Sox. The Sox remain in the 2nd AL wildcard spot, but now both the Guardians and the Astros are a game behind them. So here's a phrase we haven't heard much over the last couple of decades. The Marlins won't stop winning. They beat the Rangers 4-2 to win their 6th straight and their 10th of their last 11. If they can somehow keep it going and win their last 7 games, they'll actually finish the year with a winning record. Jared Triolo went 4 for 5 with a homer as the Pirates shut out the A's 11-0. Speaking of the Pirates, longtime Pirate and 41-year-old human Charlie Morton got DFA'd by the Tigers on Saturday. Could be the end for that guy. Be sad. And the Rockies beat the Angels 3-1, assuring that they will not match the Mets' NL record of 120 losses in a year. You got that going for you, Rockies fans. And that's all for today's Morning Lineup Podcast. Thank you for listening. Please be sure to give us a rating and review and tell everyone you know about this podcast. Anthony Castrovents will be with you Tuesday morning. I will return on Friday to preview the last weekend of the regular season. It will be here. Yikes. See you then.